All right, hello. Today's video journal day 106. And so today, I think I'm going to kind of lay out a lot of the things I've been thinking about in terms of worldview. This isn't everything, but it's most of the things that I'm been pondering lately. One thing I will say is I I'm having a hard time believing in atheism. I don't think the more I'm taking it in, the more I don't think it is correct. I honestly have not found a very good reason or reasons to believe that it is true. I will say one decent argument I saw was from Alex O'Connor, and he was saying how he I saw him on this podcast and he was talking about the analogy of a like computer processor, and he was saying that like he can't even fathom like how they work, and I can't either. I build computers. I built the computer I'm recording this video on, and I can't even understand what a processor does. And what he's basically saying there is that if you can't understand like a processor, then there's obviously something beyond our understanding when it comes to the universe. And so he's saying that just because we can't find a good reason for a certain thing doesn't... How do I phrase this correctly? Just because we can't find a good reason doesn't mean that like it's false. Because the universe is just so complex that it's beyond our comprehension, basically. Was what I was getting at from what I was understanding from his argument. And I mean, honestly, I think that's a pretty decent argument there. But I don't know. I think it's good, but it didn't fully sink in with me. I don't think it's all that. I'm currently on the fence between Christianity and agnosticism. Is that the right way? Wait, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Is it agnosticism? Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm currently on the edge of that. I definitely believe that there is something beyond the physical. I am 100% seeing that. I believe that even I believe that we are actually, so far from what I'm seeing, I believe that we are actually all souls basically trapped in a body. And so if you go down to the deeper levels of who we actually we are also not like within the physical reality. We are just embodying this. It's like the mind and the body is a vehicle that we are using to interact with the physical world, because we ourselves as spirits are not capable of doing that. That's what I'm seeing so far. I'm not saying that I'm 100% accurate on that. I'm not saying that I 100% believe that just yet, but from what I'm seeing so far, that's what I believe. I also did have what I would believe as an encounter with God. So I think I explained this in an earlier video, but there was one day when I hadn't seen a good friend of mine in months, and me and her met up at lunch, and she just said she had a test or something to do, and that changed her lunch schedule. And then we happened to get on the subject of like worldview and all that, God, consciousness, all that sort of stuff. And then I come home that same day and I go to YouTube and I see a video titled, "You've been waiting for God, but God's been waiting for you." Something along those lines. Not only did I see that, I scrolled down directly under it is a video with the same title directly under it. I mean, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Like, I've never seen two videos right next to each other with the same title. Not only that, them fit so well within the circumstance of my life. Like, after that, I was just like, I mean, I don't see how that could be just a coincidence. I mean, it technically could be, but like, something felt different about that. Like, that just, like, has anybody, like, I've literally never seen two videos of the same title right next to each other. And for them to fit so perfectly at that situation too is just crazy. But anyway, so yeah, I've also had, like what I said, I believe I've had an encounter with God. And one of my biggest piece of evidence that I am kind of working off of right now is what I call the coincidence stack. And it's basically, what I'm basically saying is, so the Big Bang happened. Before that, there was nothing. Then Earth happened to be created. And then life happened to spawn on Earth. And then humans and consciousness in its deepest level just happened to form. Like, if there's no God, if there's nothing controlling that system, then all of that's just a coincidence. 'Cause like, all of this is a coincidence. It just happened. Like, and I guess that goes back to the computer processor argument that Alex O'Connor is saying, like, it's just so complex that we can't begin to understand it. But I don't know. I don't see that. I have a really hard time seeing that, because it's just like, all of that, like, we don't need to be here. We don't. The universe does not need us. Like, we don't need to be here at all. We are extremely small and insignificant when it comes to when you compare us to the vast cosmos. But we're just here anyway. And I kind of don't like making this argument, because I do believe that there is other intelligent life, but so far we haven't found any other intelligent life too. So it's like, all of that, like, us maybe being the only intelligent life is just a coincidence. Maybe. I am not gonna push that argument too hard, because I actually do believe that there is intelligent life, but so far we're like the only intelligent life. Like, I can't see all of that being a coincidence. Not only that, if you go with the evolutionary argument for humans, it just doesn't make too much sense, because it's survival of the fittest, not survival of the smartest, not survival of the most self-aware. If anything, I think self-awareness actually kind of puts a wrench in evolution's plans, because it's like, consciousness, the deep level of consciousness that we have, we can decide that we don't want to be here anymore, you know? On top of that, we can decide that we don't want to have kids. And it's just like, I don't think evolution would want to create consciousness, because it just adds this complexity that doesn't need to be there. Because the thing is, with like animals, they are all just running off of instinct, and so that means they're just trying to find a mate. They're trying to reproduce. They're trying no matter what, because they aren't like connected with themselves as like we are. They're not self-aware like us, so they can't decide for themselves that they don't want to have kids. And wouldn't it make more sense for evolution to create animals like that? And on top of that, it's like, why are we the only ones with this level of consciousness too? Because it's like, we're the only ones. Like, that's another weird coincidence. Another weird coincidence. We're just the only ones with this level of consciousness. Why? Like, a lot of that just doesn't make much sense to me. All right, well, thanks for everyone who's watching, and growth is a slow but fulfilling process.